Assalamu alaikum, welcome back. You are listening to the Mariam Mukwanda Show on Assalam Media, and it is Thursday, the 26th of August, 2020. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for choosing Assalam Media as your broadcast of choice. All right, so some birth injuries can be cured through therapy, and um, while other birth injuries can't be cured, therapy helps to make the child more comfortable. Just as there are varying forms of birth injuries, so too are there varying forms of therapy, ranging from something as seemingly simple as occupational therapy to something a little bit more complex, like hyperbaric, rather, oxygen therapy. Joining me on the other side is Paula Eaton, who is a mom of two kids with autism, and she's using the hyperbaric oxygen therapy for her kids with autism. Good day, Paula. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, Miriam.
All right. So tell us quickly, what is hyperbaric oxygen therapy?
Well, it's quite a large piece of equipment that I have had to rent a space to keep. That you actually get your whole body into this structure, and we zip the chamber up. My particular chamber is what we call a soft shell, so it's not a hard cylinder like sometimes you would find in a hospital environment where it's high pressure. Mine is a mild hyperbaric oxygen chamber. You zip it up. It's got various zips and ways in which to enclose the capsule. And then we put pump air into the chamber to build up the pressure. And then the pressure builds up to 1.3 atmospheres. And basically, you spend a good portion of time, minimum of an hour, in a chamber like that. The air is circulating and the pressure does stay at a standard level. And we do provide a little bit of oxygen into the chamber as well. It's not a compulsory option because there is already circulation of air. So you're really just putting your body under a mild pressure.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, how has it helped you and your children since you started using it, and how long have you been using it?
Yeah. So I purchased the equipment about a year and a half ago, and obviously it's taken quite a bit of experimental time to really understand how to use it. I think also sometimes with the challenge is getting children inside.
Mm-hmm.
Some people do have a fear of claustrophobia. So not only have I allowed my own children in the chamber, but obviously other children that have a need to try and get a lot more oxygen to the tissues of their body, and with particular reference to the brain in our circumstances. So yes, children have to get used to going in there. Sometimes we go in, most of the time in the beginning, the parent would go in with the child into the chamber, zip it up. The child also has to get used to equalizing the ears. So when you go under pressure, your ears start to feel like they're going to pop. So you have to teach a child how to equalize. In circumstances where we have special needs children, we normally provide them with a social story. So we provide them with pictures and we take them through, it's about a 7 or 10 minute process of getting the machine up and running. Once you are up to the hyperbaric pressure that you need to be, then, it just feels like you're lying in bed inside a capsule. And the nice part of that at that stage is if you are the mother with your child, you have nice connection time with your child in the chamber. You can do homework in the chamber. You can take an iPad into the chamber. Not always my first prize is to take phones and things inside. But sometimes if you have to keep a child in there for an hour, you actually have to keep them entertained. So yes, that was the experience for us in the beginning. My daughter doesn't like too many noises. So we for probably the first month, we lay in the chamber without even zipping it up and turning it off. Or we would turn the pumps on and not even go to pressure. So, with children, you have to go slow and you have to expose them. They have to feel safe. And then eventually, they absolutely love it. They love the downtime. The challenge is finding the time, and especially in today's world, you know, everything is so fast paced and we never have time just to sit down and have a cup of tea, let alone go lie in a chamber for an hour. So you really have to be committed to your health and committed to the process to find the time to do that.
So research suggests that it hasn't really been proven in helping with autism, but have you seen any changes?
So, you know, my children, we do a lot of things. And, you know, I always tell everybody, you're not going to come for one treatment session and walk out and feel like the oxygen has reached the absolute end of all your extremities. But it has definitely, you know, gone further within your tissues. The challenge is that hyperbaric oxygen treatment requires time, and it requires a commitment to your overall health. You know, you cannot go in there, have an hour in the chamber, and then walk out and then decide to go and have a cigarette outside. You know, it has to go hand in hand with good nutrition, just good lifestyle principles. You know, healing, you know, we all know the body is such a complicated system, and it's also carefully put together that, you know, you can't expect one piece of equipment to have this absolute miracle healing capability. So I look at it as being just one part of my puzzle. I talk about having a puzzle with lots and lots of different pieces to it, and the hyperbaric oxygen treatment is a large portion of that puzzle. I have also had feedback. I'll give you an example. There's a lab in Johannesburg that does what they call a QEEG, which is an assessment on brainwave activity on the brain. And once I'd had my children assessed, in fact, the lady gave me feedback that my son definitely has a little bit of hypoxia on the brain. There's a section of his brain that's definitely lacking a bit of oxygen. And I happened to say to her, oh, well, you know, I actually have a hyperbaric oxygen chamber. Would that be advantageous in his circumstances? Because I was struggling to get him into the chamber. My daughter was going in quite easily, but my son just didn't like to spend so much time in there. But I realized, in fact, he really, really actually needed this treatment. And she also said that she has actually measured the brainwave activity before and after treatment. And there's a significant improvement after you have been in hyperbaric oxygen treatment. The challenge is you've got to keep going back there. You've got to keep rewiring the brain and giving the brain that opportunity to get the oxygen. You can't just go and do it once and expect you're going to see results. And that's where, you know, in the world that we live in today, we want immediate gratification. And with these kind of healing processes, they take time.
Yes, definitely. I mean, it's not an overnight fix, and it's going to definitely take some time. Now, take us through your one of the therapy sessions or one of your days, because I mean, having two kids with autism and having to get them through therapy can't be easy.
I have got quite organized. The one thing that I did well was I rented a room in a health center. I put my chamber in there. I've set up my homeschooling office. So my children are homeschooled from that office where the chamber is. Downstairs from me, I have a speech therapist and an occupational therapist. And at the bottom floor, I have autism tutors. So when I'm teaching my son, my daughter's either at a tutor, or she could be at therapy, or I could pop her into the chamber. So, you know, every day it's not like a school day where it's that extremely structured, but depending on when my appointment times are, I juggle my children and I decide who I'm going to spend time with. I do also have a facilitator, so she helps me a hell of a lot. So if I decide that I have errands to run, she can actually put my children in the chamber. Because it's a mild hyperbaric oxygen treatment, it's very safe. And, you know, I'm not a medically trained person. Aeroplane, then you are safe to go into mild hyperbaric oxygen treatment.
So, all right. And how affordable is this treatment compared to others?
Well, that's an interesting one. Yes, there is a network of us mothers with special needs children that have taken the investment of buying these chambers. They are expensive. My decision to buy it was because I was sitting with 2 children that really, really needed it. So I felt that it was worth the investment. And that is also another reason why I put it in a health center, so that it wasn't sitting in my home exclusively being used for myself, but that I'd be able to extend that to other families and other people who needed to heal for different purposes and different reasons. So hyperbaric treatments can cost.
All right, guys, the network is playing games with us again, and I've just lost Paula. If you have any comments or questions for her, please leave them in the comment section below. Or you can send them to us on WhatsApp. The number is 061-766-0355. And we are talking about hyperbaric oxygen therapy. She uses it to treat her kids with autism, or rather to assist her kids with autism. She has 2 kids, both of them have autism, and she uses the hyperbaric oxygen therapy for that. And there is also a network of moms with kids of special needs, and if we can get Paula back on the line, hopefully she'll be able to share with us those details. If you are a parent with a child with special needs, perhaps that network of moms can be able to assist you, because such therapies are not easy. I mean, it's expensive. Imagine buying a hyperbaric chamber, and having to find a place to keep it at home. And if you don't have one, you don't have the space at home, you have to find somewhere else to keep it. And obviously that is going to come with a lot of expenses, and you have to be prepared for that. Paula, thank you for joining me. I lost you there a bit, but I guess it's the network. You were talking about having the network of bombs, and the chamber being in a specific area, which means that everyone can benefit from it, and even though it's quite expensive. Yeah.
Yes. So what's the reason why we were introduced to this kind of treatment was there is a group of special needs mothers that attended, or parents, fathers as well, attended a parent training. And this is where it introduced us to the concept of holistic healing. And hyperbaric oxygen treatment was one of the treatments that they promoted, along with a whole lot of other things that one can do to heal. And so there were a few of us over the years who have taken the investment. I know that there are a few in the Pretoria, Johannesburg region. I know that in Mpumalanga there's one. I am Natal North Coast. I am sure there will be in Cape Town. I actually know of a business in Umhlanga as well. So they are, around, and obviously I've managed to get into contact with people who have these products. So we keep in touch with each other, because we all kind of learn together as well.
All right. So for anyone who needs more information regarding the network of parents, are there any contact details or social media pages, etc.?
Yes, I do have a Instagram page. I call myself Oxy -Gen, GEN, Oxygen. I document my journey of healing with my children. I also do have a website. I just have to remind myself, it's oxygenchamber.co.za. Sorry, I just forget about the words that I used in that. And so my contact details are there as well. And yes, I'm very happy to hook people up with, people close in their area, or to put them in touch with people that I'm working with, because, we're all here to support each other at the end of the day.
Definitely. And lastly, are there any side effects of this therapy?
Yeah, so there's been some situations where I didn't want to, for example, if a child has seizures, that I would rather the parents, be referred before I would allow that child into the chamber. Any children or, people who want to go into chamber, if they have problems with the ears, blocked ears, sinus problems, those can sometimes be challenging because you're going under pressure. You have to be able to equalize and you don't want to cause damage to the ears. I've also read up that, if you have pterygiums on your eyes, that is something also just to check out with a medical practitioner before going into a chamber. Sometimes the oxygen flow to various parts of the body is not something that one wants. So, I wouldn't know exactly the impact of that, not being a medical professional myself, but I would be cautious of those kind of conditions or situations. And it would be very important for the person to let the person operating the chamber know upfront exactly, medication, whether they've had this they've been checked out by a medical practitioner, whether they've been supported in going into the chamber. Just the other day, I had someone referred by a physiotherapist, and the physio actually said, you need to go and spend some time in a chamber because the gentleman had broken bones in his foot and he couldn't do the physio treatment yet. It was still too early in his healing process, and therefore for him, the benefit was to go and spend time in the oxygen chamber for a week. So yes, it is ideally preferred that people are referred, but as long as I know that there are no underlying conditions, then, I would always just be careful of those situations.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Paula. It has been very interesting learning more about the hyperbaric oxygen therapy.
Good. Well, thank you for allowing me the time too. Have a lovely day.
Only a pleasure. Thank you.
Okay.
Likewise. Bye.
All right. Okay. Bye.
It was Paula Eaton, a mom of 2 children with autism who uses the hyperbaric oxygen therapy. If you'd like more information on the network of parents out there, just send an email or visit their website, oxygenchamber.co.za, and Paula will gladly give you or connect you to some parents that are closer to you. She is in KZN, so if you are the Joburg region or the Cape Town region and are looking for a network of parents, she will gladly connect you. That is oxygenchamber.co.za, or on Instagram, it's oxy-gen. Oxy, OXY-GEN. All right, you are listening to the Mara Mukwanda Show on Salam Media. Do stay with us. We will be right back.